In this video, I'm gonna go over some ways to train like a caveman. Before I begin, if you enjoyed this type of content, make sure to like and subscribe, follow me on my social media pages, and join my Discord server for updates and suggestions for new videos and when I stream. You want that ancestral living or primal lifestyle, I hope that's not trademarked, without the use of steroids? Well, this could be a potential way of mimicking it. You'll look nothing like the Liver King. For a quick background, early humans were shorter with stronger muscles and bones, most likely caused by evolutionary adaptation and lifestyle. Some early humans grew taller after living in hot climates to stay cooler and travel long distances, and other with a smaller, compact body to handle colder temperatures. As for the training method, the first way to train like an early human being is weightlifting. While they didn't have gyms, what they did have were repetitive tasks needed for their survival, which would have built strong muscles and bones over time. A 2017 study showed when comparing bone strength of Neolithic women and modern-day athletes, the former of the two's arms were much stronger than even the professional rowers, likely from low-intensity, repetitive activities from aspects of daily living such as farming, crafting, carrying water, etc. Doing manual labor when it's not your job for multiple hours every single day without really any rest for the next 30 to 40 years is pretty fucking stupid. As for one, it's extremely time consuming, so unless you're getting paid for it, it's not really worth as a training method. Secondly, long-term manual labor is associated with like cardiovascular disease, premature death, back pain, joint pain, etc. So a more reasonable replacement would be just weightlifting, which can be done in a shorter period of time with a bigger return on results, hitting compound exercises, focusing on strength with low reps and low sets at higher weights, as the goal is to build strength to be like our ancestors. And by the way, you can also add accessories to assist these compound lifts as well, and also include things like farmer's walks, suitcase carries, sled pushes, sled pulls, other strongman exercises to further imitate some of the movements of these ancestors. The next portion of training is endurance, as human beings are built for it. An NCBI article explains that Homo sapiens are unique in that they are built for long distance running and the only primate capable of endurance running. Some of the adaptations include Achilles tendon attached to the short muscle fibers in the leg and foot bones for energetic efficiency, plantar arch of the foot, long legs, stride length, and slow twitch muscle fibers which are better suited for sustaining activity for a longer period of time. This doesn't mean you can just go out and do a fucking marathon right now, as your body still needs to adapt through training. Start off slow with walks or jogs or even running if your body can handle it consistently for long periods of time, while making sure to wear proper footwear, staying hydrated, and not going crazy each time when you train with extreme intensity, as it may increase your chance of injury. The third portion isn't really a training exercise, but more so just spending a good amount of time getting some sunlight and some fresh air. Sunlight provides vitamin D, which has a myriad of benefits, such as, but not limited to, strengthening bones, potentially reducing blood pressure, regulation of blood sugar, etc. And another thing it does, which I mentioned in the 5 Batman skills to learn, is how sunlight assists you with sleep by maintaining the circadian rhythm. As for how much you need every day, 10 to 15 minutes every single day, around noon, so like 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and maybe more if you need it, especially if you missed a couple days. If you're out longer than like 30 minutes, you probably need some sunscreen as well. And as for getting some fresh air, which is more of a colloquial term, being surrounded by plants and trees gives you oxygen, but it also boosts physical and mental health, including the color green itself being associated with a calming effect. The fourth is increasing the amount of natural, but more importantly, diverse nutritious foods to reduce certain illnesses and stave off potential disorders and whatever else. It can help with gut health, heart health, managing blood sugar, weight loss, etc. But I'm not out here villainizing all processed foods because the definition for one is pretty vague in certain cases. Like for example, WebMD describes it as any food that's changed from its natural state, including cooking it, freezing it, washing it, and even cutting it. I personally believe the focus should be more so on specific aspects of the processed foods, like high preservatives, which increases the chances of cancer, high amounts of sugars, which can cause diabetes and other issues, and there's also natural foods that are also potentially poisonous or dangerous, at least to certain people. A common one would be like peanut allergies or nut allergies. If you ate some peanuts, which are natural, but you had the allergy for it and it's a serious one especially, that's kind of stupid, isn't it? The fifth one is throwing, as it's a unique skill where humans are the only species that can throw fast and accurately. The adaptation is shown where professional baseball players and cricket throwers are capable of reaching more than 90 miles per hour, and even 12 and 13-year-old little league pitchers commonly throwing 60 to 70 miles per hour. You can practice this skill just by tossing around a baseball or football or whatever else, watching videos on proper form to get a high enough level in terms of throwing. Now, the University of Chicago Press Journals shows in the abstract that it may have originated as agonistic interactions as shown by other non-human primates, but eventually evolved into a portion of hunting by early human ancestors. This brings me to the last portion, which is hunting, a crucial skill to have as an early Homo sapien, specifically combining the endurance aspect and the throwing aspect. Now, these two aren't in itself the entirety of the hunting process, but with that said, it's definitely possible to hunt game with hand-thrown projectiles. Spears are a good example, but so are hunting boomerangs, very popular coming from Australia, but also found in India and in Egypt. And the aryll, if that's how you pronounce it, is a device that allows you to throw the spear with even more velocity and stand farther away from the prey. However, from testing of javelin throwers, you would need to have years of regular practice to be consistent and accurate at all times. And because most modern day hunters don't really hunt with hand-thrown projectiles, it isn't the most useful skill, but in the off chance you're facing some kind of predator or an assailant, and you can find some rocks or something to throw at them, having the ability to do so at a high speed and with accuracy could be useful. Of course, other skills are also in play with hunting, besides just, being able to go for long distances and throwing stuff, including the ability to track animals, hide in trees, lay traps, find bait, etc. Many videos already exist on YouTube how to do so in specific, and the most important thing to do after watching these videos is to actually test them out. Now, there is some pushback on the concept of persistence hunting in particular, which relates to the endurance portion that I already covered, where there isn't really a substantial amount of evidence, and it makes it dubious that endurance running or long distance running had been employed regularly and successfully by the foragers and hunters, and that the adaptations claimed by one of the studies that I already mentioned may have just been a way to explain it and not necessarily proven by facts. I don't know which one is which, and I don't think it really matters in this context, because what you're trying to do is emulate, not be an actual fucking caveman. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and support my channel by hitting the join button for $2.99 a month, and or watch my streams Tuesday to Thursdays, most days, 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. or shorter Eastern Standard Time.